So in 72 hours, the US government switched off the most powerful public AI on earth. And that's it.
So like you rightly started with Fable, right? So last week we were super excited about Fable getting released, and we were playing with Fable, and we were hoping to play up until at least 21st or 22nd, whatever was the cutoff deadline. But then all of a sudden it was pulled back, right? So that was like a shocker for us.
Absolutely.
And that was really a bummer for us.
I believe we filmed the podcast on 10th or 11th and the next day. Absolutely. And I'll just get into the specifics of Fable getting banned.
Yeah.
So this started on 10th of June, I believe. There was this very famous person on Twitter by the username Pliny the Liberator. And he actually was able to jailbreak the model within a couple of hours. He posted the entire over 100,000 character prompt on Twitter as well. And after that, I believe some sources mentioned that Dario Amodeo or Anthropic in general got a notice from the US government that either fix the jailbreak or pull down the model, and they refused both of those. So the government had to step in.
Jailbreak to Anthropic, AWS or Amazon went directly to the US government and they reported it there, right? And 2 days prior to the release of Fable, Anthropic had kind of pushed the US government that they should exercise control on models. They should probably make the release secure and things like that. So that was a very interesting stage set up for US government. On one side, you're saying that this model should not be accessible to everybody. This is like super powerful model. On the other side, you're saying US government should regulate and they should come back and kind of, if there is something bad happening, they should probably step in, right?
Absolutely.
And then this happened where the jailbreak was happening on the Fable model, where people were able to access it in the capacity of Mythos, right? So that's where government, like you rightly said, asked them to either patch that vulnerability, right,
or take the model
off, or make it only So Dario kind of refused both of those, and that's where US government kind of issued the order to only make it accessible to US citizens. So that was like, if they'd told them to take the model off completely, that was a different story. But then making it accessible only to the US citizens, that was a shocker. That was pretty much the start of the week, and that's where it was difficult to
So the most interesting thing that I found was Project Glasswing came to a halt because of this entire scenario, right?
Oh yeah. So a lot of people had access to, a lot of enterprises had access to Mythos through Project Glasswing, but now because government order came in, both Fable and Mythos are offline, and nobody's able to access that. So on 12th June at 5:21, the order came in, and they were supposed to shut it down within 90 minutes.
90 minutes, yeah.
So without any warning to any user, all of a sudden the workloads which were running and everything came to a grinding halt, and the model was pretty much offline. And that global blackout was absolutely kind of not expected, but that happened, and that became a viral story across the internet.